He opened the door, but it screamed back. Some games glitch, others haunt you. What I am about to tell you is a story that blurs the line between a simple bug in the code and something far more sinister. It starts with a game, a popular one you've probably played. But it ends somewhere else entirely, a place where logging off is no longer an option. So, turn down the lights, put on your headphones, and listen closely. Because some glitches never end. It was a late Tuesday night, one of those quiet, unremarkable evenings where the world outside seems to fall silent. Alex, a seasoned gamer, was scrolling through Roblox, looking for a new thrill. He'd played hundreds of games, from bustling city simulations to intense first-person shooters. But tonight, he was in the mood for something different, something that would get his heart racing. His cursor hovered over a thumbnail for a game simply titled The Corridor. The image was dark, showing nothing more than a single, ominous-looking door. The player count was low, almost zero, which should have been a red flag. But for Alex, it was an invitation. An undiscovered gem, he thought. He clicked play. The game loaded quickly, plunging him into almost total darkness. His avatar stood at the beginning of a long, narrow hallway. The walls were made of a strange, pulsating black texture, and the only light source was a faint, sickly green glow emanating from the far end. There was no music, no ambient sound, just an unnerving, heavy silence that felt like a weight on his chest. It was a simple horror map designed to build tension. He'd seen it all before, or so he thought. He moved his avatar forward. The footsteps echoed unnaturally in the digital space, too loud, too sharp. At the end of the corridor was a single wooden door. It looked old, weathered, with a tarnished brass handle. This was it. The first jump scare, probably. Alex braced himself, a smirk playing on his lips. He moved his cursor over the door and clicked. But the sound that came through his headphones was the creak of old wood or a sudden monster S-roar. It was a scream. A raw, human scream, filled with sheer, unadulterated terror. It was distorted, digitized, but undeniably human. It wasn't just a sound effect. It felt real, visceral. It cut through the silence like a knife, and then stopped abruptly, leaving an even deeper, more profound quiet in its wake. Alex's smirk vanished. His heart pounded in his chest. What was that? A cheap trick, a tasteless audio file. He clicked the door again. The same scream, just as loud, just as horrifying. It wasn't a jump scare. It was a warning. The avatar froze. Alex hadn't touched the controls, but his character was stuck, staring at the screaming door. He tried to move, to turn, to jump, but nothing worked. He was paralyzed. He felt a chill run down his spine, a cold dread that had nothing to do with the game's atmosphere. This wasn't right. This wasn't part of the design. A flicker in the corner of his screen caught his eye. The chat box. A single message had appeared, typed in a deep, blood-red font. 3 simple letters. RUN. The message wasn't from another player. The server list showed he was completely alone. Alex's blood ran cold. Was it a developer? A hacker messing with him? He tried to type a reply, to ask who was there, but his keyboard was unresponsive within the game window. He was a prisoner in his own game. The door screamed again, this time longer, more desperate. It felt closer. The chat box flickered again. He's coming. Who's coming? Alex thought, his panic rising. He frantically tried to bring up the game menu to find the Leave Game button. This wasn't fun anymore. He tried to log out. He mashed the escape key, the universal command to bring up the menu, to find freedom. Nothing. The game ignored him. His avatar remained frozen, a digital statue before a shrieking portal. He tried LTF for the brute force method to close any application. The screen flickered for a second, giving him a moment of hope. But the game world snapped back into view, unchanged. It was as if the game refused to let him go. Then a system message appeared. Not in the chat, but right in the center of his screen, in stark white letters against the oppressive darkness. It read, "No," just that one word. No, it wasn't an error code. It wasn't a glitch message. It was a response, an intelligent, defiant refusal. The door kept screaming, its cries becoming a rhythmic, agonizing pulse. It was the only sound in the universe, a constant reminder of his entrapment. Alex felt a surge of real fear, the kind you feel when you realize you've lost all control. He wasn't just playing a game anymore. The game was playing him. He minimized the window, trying to get to his desktop, to shut down his entire computer if he had to. But the Roblox window maximized itself instantly, filling his screen once more. It was holding him hostage. He covered his ears, trying to block out the horrifying sound. He ripped his headphones off and threw them onto his desk. But it was useless. The scream wasn't coming from the headphones anymore. It was coming from his speakers. He muted the speakers, but the sound didn't stop. It was fainter now, but it was still there. It was inside his head. A high-pitched, electronic wail that vibrated behind his eyes. He squeezed his eyes shut, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. This wasn't a glitch. A glitch is random, nonsensical. This was deliberate. It was intelligent. The game wasn't broken. It was alive. The realization hit him like a physical blow. This entity, whatever it was, had transcended the code. It had reached out from the digital world and latched onto his consciousness. The screaming in his head was a phantom, an echo imprinted on his mind. He backed his chair away from the desk, stumbling to his feet. He looked at the screen. His avatar was still frozen, but something had changed. The door was slightly ajar. A sliver of absolute blackness was visible through the crack. The chat box updated again. Too late, the screaming in his head intensified, and with it came a new sensation. A memory that wasn't his. A feeling of being trapped, not in a game, but in something small, wooden, and dark. He felt a splintering sensation, a feeling of being pulled apart and put back together, over and over. He felt an eternity of solitude, punctuated only by the clicks of unseen players. A desperate, unending desire to be opened, to be free, to be heard. He was feeling the door's agony, but why? He realized it too late. Staring at his own reflection in the dark monitor, he saw the face of his avatar superimposed over his own terrified expression. And he understood. The door wasn't screaming. He was. Every time he clicked the door, a piece of him, a part of his own consciousness, was being ripped away and trapped inside the game's code. That scream of terror wasn't a sound file. It was his own voice, his own soul, crying out from within the digital prison. The chat message run wasn't a warning for him to escape the game. It was a warning from a previous victim, telling the next player to run from him. He whispered the words aloud, a horrifying epiphany that sealed his fate. I am the glitch. He opened the door, but it screamed back. A feedback loop of his own terror, echoing for the next curious player to find. Is this story real? Maybe, maybe not. But it serves as a chilling reminder that in the vast, endless corridors of the digital world, some doors are best left unopened, and some games should never be played. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy stories that crawl under your skin and stay there, make sure you subscribe, because some glitches never end.